Hi everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for popping on and joining me again today for what is part 7 of the White Rose Detective Agency, chapter 2. Yesterday we did our full page, which was the file folders. I enjoyed doing that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the way that it came out. I think it's come out quite well. I ended up not putting any stamps on, but I found this hand and I thought because it's the butler that is the murder victim, I thought that would be quite apt. So I quite like the way that's come out. So I'm quite happy with that. So today we're going to be doing and carrying on with the signature. We want to do page 6. Now we don't want too much on this page, purely because we've got quite a hefty amount in this part here. I still haven't found anything for my tags, so I'm going to be looking at that at some point, and I will put something in those. So we're going to do what we can in an hour and see how we get on. So I'm thinking just a basic pocket here. Yeah, a basic pocket I think would be quite okay there. Now I do have this bit here, which is our other pockets, and this is from the kit, but these parts are from week 1. So I do want to probably put that in somewhere, but I'm not sure where yet. I don't really want to cover up the centre mark, and we've got page 10 to do, which is just probably going to be a bit of a belly band, and then we've got these writing pages. So I'm thinking that maybe I don't mind covering that up, to be honest, but I'd have to cut it down a little bit. I think it's too wide this side to go on anything, so I might have to cut that down. So I'm thinking maybe that's going to be in that part. I'm quite conscious of the fact that because I made the mistake of overfilling my first one, that I'm sort of trying to level it out a little. So because we've done this piece here, I want to sort of put this piece in this half of the signature. So I'm probably thinking that for there. So we'll get on and do a pocket here, and we can just stick some tags or some cards in it, which I think we'll do just a simple pocket with a cluster on. I'm sort of missing making me clusters, and I sort of want to get on with it. So I need to find some papers of some sort, what will fit. Now I like the idea, it's not card though, that's the only thing, and it won't look right. So I do have this with the fingerprints on, I quite like that, which I think that would work. So I'm going to go ahead and make a pocket for there. I've probably got enough to do a little bit of a gusset as well with that. So I don't want it to be too high, because I don't want it to cover up my beautiful pictures. So it needs to be about 3.5. So we're going to go ahead and cut off 3.5 from this, and then I'm going to back it because this is just paper and I need it to be pockets. Now I want to keep that in, so I want to turn it round. I would have liked the roses, but I want the fingerprints because we're doing the murder side, and 3.5 takes me to there. Yeah, that'll be fine, I think. I quite like the fingerprints on there because we're doing the murder side. I think it'll be a lot. It's relevant, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to back it first, aren't I? I will. I'll get there. I'll get there in the end. So I've backed it and that's dry. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and do, what's the width of that? So I want to avoid that centre stitch line. It's 5.5, so I'm going to do my pocket at 5 so that I can pull it this way. So we have 6, so we can go 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch that side, 1/2 inch that side. That should give me my 6. I'm not going to bother with doing the bottom, purely because there's no mileage in it, or I don't feel that there's mileage in it. And I'm probably going to notch this pocket. So that's going to go onto there like so. So I'm just going to ink. And then we'll just line that up where we want it. And a little, just a tad higher. So just that level. That looks level enough. Okay, so I'm going to create a little cluster on here. And then we want it flat-ish because we're trying to avoid bulk this time. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So what we can put in these ones is a tag. No, I don't want to put the tag in. I just want to put some smaller pieces in. So we'll put the butler in, and we'll put the police officer and Libby in there. Yeah, I like that. That's more than enough, I think. So we need something to start a cluster. Now, I don't really want to cover that up, so I want something smaller than that. So we could start with a tag. We could then have a number coming off of there. So I just like to lay it out so I've got sort of, an idea. He could be the young butler. And we could do scene or clue. What else have we got? An empty label. I want something behind it, I think. Start with that. We'll pop this down first. On there. Actually, I'll use our glitter. It takes less time to dry it, and then it doesn't. You don't get sticky fingers. Okay, you do, but it's not as bad. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. So I'm thinking he needs to be first. Let's just go with it and see where it works out to. Then the evidence ticket, which needs to go here. I want the layered effect though, so I need to pull it down a little bit. There we go. I don't like that colour of that. Hang on, it's there now. That's not straight either. Okay. And then we can have the circle on. So the stamp. Just going to go there. And this bit, don't want it over the numbers. And then this bit. Yeah, quite like that. So this one first, because it's going underneath. Go straight. And then, I don't mind if I go over the number a little bit, does it? Yeah, something like that anyway. And then I think we'll put scene up there. There we go. I'd call that done. So that's quite nice. Let's just see. There we go. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I was looking for. This is going to be a left as a piece. This is going to be left as a journal piece. And then it brings us to page 10. And I think what we need to do here is, because I want to keep that picture, I want to put a side pocket on here. And then maybe an envelope inside, like an evidence envelope. That's what I'm thinking. Or a top secret envelope or something like that. Now, I haven't got any envelopes in the kit, so I'm going to have to make another envelope. And what I'll do is I will make it... Let's get the pocket on first. So, out of my papers, I have got this piece, which I quite like. So let's just measure that from that crease. So I don't really want it any more than 2 inches. So let's just get that out. I like that grunge on there, the bottom of there. So I'm going to go 2 inches. Yeah, I want the bottom left flat as possible because it's near to the sewn in signature. So I think I'm going to use this, instead of creating, because it's a long pocket, I'm not going to bother with the gusset sides because it just creates more bulk. And we're not going to be putting much in it. I just want a little evidence label in there. So I can come out to about there. So I want it as the top of the page, and I'm just going to mark that with my pencil. So I'll just cut that off there and get that glued in and inked up. Okay, so this is all glued in now and stuck down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a this. This was in the other kit. It's not an envelope, it's just a piece of ephemera, but I quite like the idea of it. Now, I haven't got a top secret stamp, but I have got like a confidential or something along those lines. I've also got these evidence and other bits here, so I might be able to find something like that. So we're going to recreate this sort of thing here. So I've got a piece of paper. We're going to be making like a policy type envelope like this, and with a closure. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do exactly the same as what we did before with the other envelope, this envelope, very similar. But we're going to be making it full size. Well, not quite full size. We're going to sort of fill this sort of pocket, but obviously shorter. So we need the height because we need the bottom gusset and the top flap. And I think if I do it like that, it's going to be too wide. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off of this, about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. Yeah, I'll take an inch and a quarter off just to be on the safe side. So, and then we're going to do exactly the same as we did before. So we're going to mark the middle. We're going to bring it in to that centre point. We're going to come around and we're going to do this one as a centre point, and then we'll just check that size to go in there, and that's more or less perfect. Okay, so do the same again. We're just going to round border, 1/2 inch at the bottom, and cut that off as a wedge. Same on this side, bit of a wedge, and then that's going to close, and we're going to bring that up to there, and then we're going to just turn it around. We're not cutting anything off the length, and we want about 1 inch for the flap of the top. Do exactly the same with that. So a bit of a wedge, and on that side, bit of a wedge, and then cut that score line off with a wedge as well. And then that will be ready to ink up and glue. So we're going to do that like so. Okay, let me just pop that away. So we've got our envelope, and that will fit nicely into our pocket. Now it'll go round the other way because you want to see the front of it, not the back. And that's how that will sit in there. Okay. But what I want to do, because it's you know, a document type envelope, I'm literally just going to screw it up. Screw it up, and then I'm going to reopen it as carefully as possible. You don't want any ripped peak parts. And then I'm just going to get my bone folder and just straighten that out a bit. But I want all those creases in it. I want it to look like a proper used envelope that people have been in and out of several times, like so. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to go over with the ink. Maybe I ought to use my blender really rather than the so I'm just going to go over the top and just try and catch some of those crease marks. Is that the inside? Am I doing the inside? Yeah. We will get there, I promise. And it'll just catch where you've sort of creased. Okay, try not to do it on your signature. Do you see what I mean? So it'll just catch a few bits. I mean, it won't catch everything, but it will catch it in places where it's raised. And I just want it as a light blend on those bits. And then I'm not bothered about the inside really, just want to get that outside done. And this front one, now this front one's the most important because that's the bit that you're going to be facing you in your pocket. So you just want those just lightly as well, very, very lightly. If you overdo it, it will, you'll just end up colouring your paper. But where you can see those creases, crease it up if you can. You know, do this, and it'll help a little. Okay. And it'll just catch those marks. Just lush. Okay, and then we're going to just ink all around the outside, and I may as well do it with this. It'll just work better. So it will be inked, but it's just going to be blended a little bit. I want to do that edge there, so we need to put that over. And if you do accidentally rip it when you're crunching it all up, you know, go with it. It don't matter. So it will pick up sort of bits like that when you're doing it. That's it. Just crunch it up. You know, pull it up. Do the edge like that. See, I've ripped this part here. Now, I don't mind that at all. And I'll show you in a minute what we'll do with it. Okay, so we're just going to do that edge as well. So like I said, if you do rip it, don't panic. You haven't ruined it. You've just enhanced it a little. And it's a natural enhancement. You haven't forced it. So that's the sort of effect that you will get. I like that. It's lovely. Okay, now where did my thing go? There it is. So what I'm going to do with this ripped edge is I'm just going to pull it over, and I'm just going to go in there and make it a lot darker with my ink. Now you do want to go around the edge of here as well, just to get rid of any white lines. If you've got any creases, just go over it if you want to. It just all adds to the texture of it all. And if there's any really deep ones, you can go over it with this, just to enhance those extra bits where it's really dark. Okay, and that's the sort of effect you'll get. I love it. I'm going to go on the inside of this because I want to get rid of anything white on that bit there, the bit that's ripped, and then we can glue that up. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that in now, and then we will decorate. So I just want to go down the edge of here. Come on, glue. There we go. Just down the edge of there, and just down the edge of this side. Okie dokie, and then bring that over and just flatten that down. Okay, just get your bone folder, just make sure that you crease that in properly. Wipe any glue off. And then you're just going to glue this bottom up, and you'll need to do the same with this. It's only because when you crease it, obviously it's not a flat piece of paper anymore. So when you come to glue, it'll be hard to, just slightly harder to glue. You'll get it. So you just want to flatten it out. There we go. So I've got this little ID type tool. So I'm just going to make a little ID tool in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of, I don't know actually, what am I going to do? I'll think about it. So I'm just going to ink that up, make sure there's nothing white showing. And then on the front, where's that card gone? We've got a couple of lines. I'm not bothered about those lines though, but we could do it. Yeah, we could do it, I think. But I want a red stamp, and I've got a camera stamp that I had from when I used to do photo albums. So I'm going to use that. Yeah, I'll just slant it. And do I want to do it as a secondary stamp, do you think? Let's just go on here. So it, oh, does it anyway? So that's quite nice. So I'm just going to slant it onto here though. Yeah, I like that. A bit modern compared to that one. But anyway, we have to use what we've got. Okay, and then I want the red ink out because I want to get this confidential. So I've got this big one and I want that to go. I don't want it to be level. I want it to be slightly slanted. So I'm just going to ink that up in the red. Okay, and then I'm going to just pop it across there. There we go. It's not great, that red ink. Probably does need a line down it, but I don't know. What do you think? I quite like it as it is. Maybe we could put some dates on it. Oh, that's not the one I wanted, but it is. It has got numbers on it. So I'm thinking we could do department. Where's my little one? We could do department. So I need the black ink again. So we could do department up here. And pop that away. And then we could do this number. Down here, on the side here. And then we could do, we've got a longer number in there. And we could do that number there as well, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all it needs. I don't think it needs much of anything else. Yeah, I don't think we've done too bad. I know it doesn't look the same. But, you know, it ain't too bad, is it? I quite like that. I think we could pin something to it, though. So I've got these, like, fingerprint cards, crime details and stuff. So I think... I don't really want to glue it on, just in case I change my mind. But we have got those, which we could pin onto it, I think. So if we just get another paper clip, that could go that way. Yeah. And then if we just get the signature open to where that needs to go, and that can just sit in there then, like that. Now we just need to decorate this pocket up a little bit. Butler on there. We could have the policeman on there. I just don't like the fact that his hat doesn't fit properly. But then if we stick him to the top, it wouldn't matter, would it? And then we could, like, you know, put detective across. And then further down, we've got some case numbers here, or crime numbers. So I think we could do that. Let's do that. Let's get him on before I change my mind. Okay. So we want him at the top, don't we? We want him about there. Such a shame that he hadn't got a full helmet. We want detective. What are they? Conclusion, adventure, document. Oh, could do document because that's what they are. Document. We've got crime on this one, or case ID on this one. Actually, actually, we could do we'll do crying. That just needs snipping down a little bit. We'll do crying. Oh my God. I don't know what it is about cutting straight lines. Absolutely awful. So we've got crying, which we could put here. And then we could put a number underneath. And I don't really want to use the first one. Just ink that and ink that. And I think if we put that the other side and that there, I think that looks okay. Do a bit more maybe. I don't know. What else have we got? We have got some. Yeah, no. I don't know whether they're on the right place or whether we just should put it down here. I quite like the look of that. And that's going the same way, so maybe we ought to put it that way just for a bit of difference, maybe. Yeah, I think that's okay, isn't it? If you can hear the wind in the background, I know you can hear the press, but if you can hear the wind, we've got sandstorms and they're coming from Saudi. I mean, we can see the city today, but yesterday the city was completely under sand. So, yes. But it is quite clear today, but the wind's quite bad. That just gives it a little something, doesn't it? Now, I would want to do something for the inside of that, but I don't know what I want to do. I don't know whether to just do some faux papers just out of normal, notebook paper and just put them in there as extra journaling spots because I think that'd be quite nice. That won't go in with that up. So I'm thinking that. Yeah, so I'll probably do that. I'll do that off camera though. You don't need to sit and watch me cut paper, do you? So if I'm actually cutting too much out of the videos for you or speeding the bits up that you actually want to see, then please do let me know because this is new to me too. And I'm just trying to get as much information packed into a video as possible at any particular point. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. I think we've got some time to do another page. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave this page. I'm probably going to leave that page. May come back to it yet, I don't know. So we'll be on the centre pages, which is page 16 and 17. Now, I'm unsure of what to really do here. Only because I like to see the centre page. If you've got a nice display, and I quite like the look of that. I think it's quite nice. So I think the easiest thing to do is just to, attach some papers in on paper clips, which is what I'll probably do there. So let's move on to the next one, which was this one. And I do think I'm going to pop that into there. I don't really want it into the, just means trimming off a bit on that edge, which doesn't bother me either way. It's not going to interfere with the pocket at all. And I do quite like it. I think it's quite nice. I think it just needs some words maybe and an evidence number. So I think we could add that. I think we could add detective over here. And we could probably add an evidence ticket down there. I like that. I think that'll be quite nice on there. So I think I'll do that and get that stuck in, because you've seen me do that part. Yeah, so I'm going to go away, stick all that in and stick that page down, because then it doesn't leave us much more to do. So yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so I've stuck all that in. So I've cut it down just so that it was just shy of the full page, and we've got that one put in. So it doesn't really leave me much more to do. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe. So I think what we'll do is I'll leave it there for today. So let's just go over what we've done. We did our evidence there. We did our pocket with the scene and a bit of a cluster, which came out okay. We've done the pocket with the evidence envelope in, or the confidential evidence. I'm looking at that and thinking it just needs something else. So I'm going to go away and think about it. And if I change anything, I will let you know in the next video. And then we skipped the middle because I'm unsure about what to do there for the moment. And we then stuck this pocket in here. So I think we will leave it there today, and we'll come back tomorrow and do a little bit more. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Take care.